I'm Georgia, and welcome to William Buck, a firm that is reimagining the way advisors work. Come with me and take a peek behind closed doors. Exceptional advice comes from passionate people who feel empowered to shape outcomes. Our teams include audit and assurance, business advisory, corporate finance, restructuring and insolvency, superannuation, tax, and wealth advisory. These teams work together to create a tangible impact for our clients. Events such as staff breakfasts, colleague lunches, trivia nights, and regular parties allow our people to build relationships inside and out of the office. And between our social club and run club, there's something for everyone. William Buck is the perfect place to start, grow, or take your career to the next level. We have robust training to aid growth opportunities and boost career development. Changing lives is our underlying philosophy, and the William Buck Foundation formalises our community and volunteer initiatives, allowing us to better work with charities and organisations most in need. Your physical and mental well-being is super important to us. Our flexible workplace allows you to better balance your professional and personal life. And we're lucky enough to have an in-house psychologist to help you be your best. If you want to join a company where friendships are made and careers are built, then come on over to a firm that's delivering more than just advice.
I'm here at Urban Surf supporting the Bright Sky and Forward Ability adaptive surfing event, and super excited to see first timers to people like Sam Bloom who have competed on the world stage.
Got over 30 surfers here registered to jump in the water with us today, and there's a real buzz, lots of excitement. Bright Sky and Forward, we've been around for 64 years supporting people with spinal cord injury, and through Bright Sky we're able to fund an event like this.
I'm excited, it's electric out here, so much energy.
There is a huge crew, the weather has turned it on, it's going to be a sick day, I'm super keen, get some waves with some mates.
We're lucky to have Sam Bloom here. She's a great ambassador for forward ability support, but also a great advocate for surfing.
Sick event. It's cool to have so many surfers out here, and wild setup with Urban Surf and Bright Sky and Cyberwood, and yeah, it's going to be bad.
You couldn't get a better setup for getting into surfing for adaptive athletes.
It's incredible that Bright Sky and Forward Ability have put this event on and have made it happen, and yeah, obviously with the support of Cyberwood. So no, it's awesome. I hope we'll do many more events like this.
The Paralympic Games is the world's largest international sporting event for athletes with a disability. Growing from humble beginnings following World War II, when veterans participated in sport to help rehabilitate serious injuries, the Paralympic movement has grown exponentially in size and scale since the first Paralympic Games in Rome in 1960. Held every 2 years, alternating between summer and winter games, the Paralympics now provides a platform for para-athletes with a diverse range of impairments to showcase their ability to billions of viewers. Delivering a unique combination of ever-improving athletic performance and increasing global awareness, the Paralympics is recognised as the world's leading sporting movement for driving social inclusion, transforming attitudes, and improving lives.
This is what it's all about!
Using a process known as classification, para-athletes are grouped together with competitors with similar impairments to ensure fair competition. Athletes with a physical, vision, or intellectual impairment may compete in para-sport. Athletes with a vision impairment. Some para-athletes are completely blind, while others have low vision. Each sport has different rules and equipment for athletes with a vision impairment. For example, in cycling and alpine skiing, athletes train and compete with an able-bodied guide. In other sports, such as goalball, all athletes wear blindfolds, regardless of their level of impairment, to make competition fair. Athletes with an intellectual impairment. Athletes with an intellectual impairment have difficulty with their learning, communication, and social skills. While they are highly capable of dealing with the physical demands of their sport, athletes may need extra time and assistance to plan competition tactics and learn new skills. Athletes with a physical impairment. Athletes with a physical impairment form the largest group of competitors within the Paralympic movement. Physical impairments which can be classified for Paralympic sport include loss of limbs, coordination impairments from conditions such as cerebral palsy or brain injury, muscle weakness, restricted joint movements, short stature, and leg length difference. In all parasports, no matter what the classification or disability group, there are dedicated athletes who focus on their ability and strive to be the best they can be. Whether athletes want to compete at the elite level or just for fun and fitness, there are opportunities to get involved in parasport today. For more information, visit www.paralympic.org.au.
G'day everyone, I'm Clarence McCarthy Grogan. I play for the Southern District Spartans and we're here at Narrandjeri Stadium for Kevin Coombs' Indigenous Round. The Indigenous Round is so important because it shows the sport of wheelchair basketball that was led by Uncle Kevin Coombs, an Indigenous Paralympian and just an all-round great guy and a very inspirational leader for not just Indigenous wheelchair basketballers but people all around the country because of what he had to go through and trailblazed. It feels really cool to have all the teams here. It's almost like a bit of a finals sort of weekend if the vibe is like that. It's just great to have that social interaction with everybody because we don't actually get to see each other too often throughout the season. You know, just great to see everyone at one location for the first time. Having Indigenous Round to kick off NAIDOC Week is awesome. It's an awesome concept. We're down here in Melbourne. You know, it's pretty cold for me coming from Darwin, but look, it's a great concept because it showcases what wheelchair basketball is all about, inclusivity, and it's just great to showcase wheelchair basketball and the Indigenous athletes that do play wheelchair basketball at the highest level in the country.
From the ancient dust of the Red Centre to the saltwater coasts where we meet today, Wheelchair Basketball Australia acknowledges the traditional custodians of the lands across this nation where we gather, train and play. We stand on the shoulders of giants, honouring the spirit of the first Indigenous Australian to wear the green and gold at an Olympic or Paralympic Games. Their journey is etched into the very fabric of our league. Across every court and every community, we celebrate the enduring spirit of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Together, we share in a legacy of strength, culture, and the game we love.
Welcome to Narrandjeri Stadium in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, Narrabeen to be specific. It's the second of three encounters between the home Red Dust Healers, run by Outback Academy, and the visiting Manly Wheel Eagles, who are sponsored by the Sargood Foundation. I mentioned the second of three contests. These two teams locked horns last night. It was a fantastic seesawing encounter, which eventually the Red Dust Healers won 74-70. To end an 11-game unbeaten string by the Manly Wheel Eagles, who undoubtedly will be looking to make some adjustments today. My name's Brendan Parnell. I'm joined by Campbell Fraser, a man involved at the league level in coaching and formerly playing the wheelchair game. And Campbell, it was a fantastic contest last night. We can expect more of the same today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was an incredible way for both of these teams to show up so early in the three games that they have to play. That first game is often a little bit messy, a little bit tiring as teams have travelled. We know a couple of players from both teams have been travelling with the Commonwealth Games and things before that as well. And both of these teams really showed up. I think the Red Dust Healers really drew from the fact that they brought back in Jalen Brown from the overseas season that he was playing in Turkey. And he's really come back firing. He came up with 30 points in their game last night. And credit to also the mainstay of the Red Dust Healers through this season, Sabri Bedzedi. He had an incredible game, 15 points, 11 rebounds. And to be fair, that was considering that he fouled out later in the game, so we didn't even get to see him at full strength for the entire game. I think the Manly Wheel Eagles, obviously we have to recognise that they're playing without Tom O'Neill-Thorne at the moment. He's taking a break coming straight off the Commonwealth Games, the 3x3 where the men won the gold, and that's obviously putting a lot of pressure on him to compete. So fair enough, taking a couple of days off, but you can kind of see the cracks for the Manly Wheel Eagles when they don't necessarily have a ball handler, and then sort of putting Bill Latham in that position to be that point guard. It's not necessarily something that he wants to be doing. It's not something that he's bad at. It just kind of forces them into different roles that they're not as comfortable with.
Yeah, you mentioned statistically last night, the game 74-70, the final score. Just looking at some of the statistics, both teams had 42 points in the paint. The rebounding count was 40-43. They shot 48 and 49% from the field, respectively. Probably the only anomalous statistic was that they both shot really poorly from the three-point line. The Red Dust Healers 1 of 11 and the Wheel Eagles just 1 of 7, which maybe is a specific area of focus tonight. If either team can find some success from that three-point range, it may be the tipping point.
Yeah, and that's been an interesting thing we've had with the Red Dust Healers. We've had a little bit of an ongoing joke with the Red Dust Healers before Jalen Brown came back in. They're very hesitant to take threes. It's not something that they like. They like using their bigs inside the paint, use those scoring ways forward further inside the paint. Jalen Brown being back in, he is a threat from that three-point range. And I think on the other side, the Manly Wheel Eagles not having Tom O'Neill-Thorne, he's the automatic free shooter. Really throughout this season, throughout the league, he really is one of the highest scoring from the three. And that just makes it a little bit harder for the Manly Wheel Eagles. They do have a couple players that are still comfortable from that range, but I don't think they've necessarily run. They probably haven't run too many expectations around how we play without Tom O'Neill-Thorne. And I think that's kind of coming true for them, and they're kind of struggling to fill that little gap.
Yes, we see the teams going through their final warms. A big day here at Darebin Stadium. You can see the signs in the background for the local Darebin Phoenix team. Of course, the Red Dust Healers make their home for most of the season out here at Narrandjeri Stadium, but the Darebin Phoenix, the Youth League Men 2, will be featuring in a semi-final of the Big League competition straight after this. It's a fantastic collaboration between the Darebin Association and the Red Dust Healers to get the wheelchair game and the able-bodied game all on the one bill here. So look at our three officials just walking over to the table to familiarise themselves with the score table. Daniel McIntyre, Oliver Pittman, and Ty Hodgson's. Our two highly decorated head coaches with 9 Paralympic Games between them, would you believe? Brad Ness, of course, a veteran of 5 Paralympics, won a gold medal in Beijing in 2008, silver medals in Athens in 2004, London 2012, before being appointed the rollers coach in 2023. And his coach across the way for Manly, Koen Janssens, 4 Paralympic Games for the Netherlands, won a gold medal in Barcelona and a silver medal in Sydney. It's hard to think of a more decorated couple of head coaches to have involved in the league.
Yeah, this is one of the most exciting things that you get in the wheelchair basketball game, because it is a smaller community. It's a tighter knit community. You have players that move on to being coaches and use their experience so well. So it's one of those things. Not every player can become a coach. It's certainly a skill that you have to develop. But you can see why both of these coaches have been with their respective teams for a while now. Koen Janssens has really found his place with the Manly Wheel Eagles, and I think he's quite comfortable there. And I know for a fact Brad Ness is pretty happy with the Red Dust Healers. He likes the players that he's brought in. They've changed over the years. A few of their players have rotated in and out from various places. I think he's very comfortable with the way that they're moving forward, and obviously pretty happy with the game that came away last night.
Yes, we see the starting lineups. Manly in their white uniforms tonight with the maroon numbers, and the Red Dust Healers in the darker uniforms, form of dark brown with the yellow and red numbers and decals. The starters for the Red Dust Healers: Jalen Brown in 0, Jeremy Kendall 2, Mitchell Bond in number 4, Ricky Cox in 5, and Sabri Bezzetti, of course, the Italian international, in 29. And for the Manly Wheel Eagles, it's Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes in 1, Cooper Tarleton, Evander Conroy, Bill Latham in 12, and Sam White in 14. First possession with the Red Dust Healers. Bezzetti drives middle. Ball's poked away from Tyndall. Ball back to Bezzetti. Shot clock being counted down in the background. A healthy crowd here this afternoon's encounter. This afternoon Melbourne time. Offensive rebound. Ball comes back. Shot for Bond is off. And with a chance to open their account. Bill Latham having the point, as we saw quite a bit last night in the absence of Tom O'Neill-Thorne. He gets the scoring underway.
And that's what Bill Latham's going to have to do a little bit of. He's going to have to get into that position, kind of on the elbow, sitting relatively high, and just look for those automatic shots when he gets a mismatch. He's so tall inside the paint. He's such a threat that really the Red Dust Healers don't have an answer to him specifically.
So Bezzetti gets a pass inside from Brown to even things up at 2. Fuentes. Mexican import. Ball back to Bill Latham. That shot's off. White does a good job to screen the Red Dust players away to enable the rebound to be snavelled up. Shots off again. Another long offensive rebound. Latham. Fuentes left wide open. Shot bobbles up and down, but out. A familiar figure of Jalen Brown with the ball. Notable scorers last night. Dribbles down to the right wing, back up to the elbow, pops a pass across the floor. Bezzetti can't reel that in, tumbles out of his chair. Back to Manly.
And as much as that's a little bit of a messy play for the Healers, I'm glad that they're kind of putting a little bit of pressure in, putting pace in, where in the previous game we saw both of these teams started pretty slowly and started pretty quietly. And I think it'll be the healers that want to push that pace pretty early to try and get the Manly Wheel Eagles a little uncomfortable.
Bill Latham gets his scoring underway. Little two-man game there with Fuentes. Big shot. Watched anything of Bill Latham's game. That's a staple of his offense. Pulled down to the baseline. Shots long. It's a beautiful winter's afternoon here in Melbourne. And we get quite a bit of natural light coming in the stadium here down the far end. It's one of the fantastic things, allows an opportunity for people wandering around in the parklands outside to watch what's going on inside. Latham, Fuentes, Tarleton had such a fantastic game last night with equal career high 21 points. His first shot's off. Brown controls around, thinks about the three, drives middle, cut off, kicks back. Ball finds its way down to Bond. The shot's off. White the rebound. Fuentes pushing. Latham runs the lane, rolls perfectly, makes the layup.
This is what we'd be expecting of the Manly Wheel Eagles. We didn't really see them come alive quite as much in the previous game. Granted, they really held it to the Healers all the way through that game. But this is much more what you'd expect from the Manly Wheel Eagles, that fast-paced ball movement, and just that court IQ that some of their players have is so hard to deal with.
Backcourt pressure is dealt with. Fuentes into the front court, picked up by Brown. He wheels away. Patiently waiting. Ball back to Tarleton. Back to Fuentes. Looking for Latham. Pass is picked off. Zeddy with the hands, but he couldn't control the steal. Ball will revert back to Manly. 14 seconds on the 24-second shot clock. Campbell Message rolls onto the floor for Ricky Cox for the Healers. But it's Manly with the ball. Fuentes. This is the Sam White screen. Launches a two. Can't get it to go. Crooks the rebound. The Healers. Brown. Pursued by Latham. Cut off by Tarleton. Back to Message. He scoops it up in one hand. Goes back to Brown. He launches a three. It's short. Fuentes to Tarleton. He does a great job to avoid the contact. Kicks it ahead to White. He doesn't have a layup opportunity. Flicks it back. Snap pass from Fuentes. Back to Latham. He goes glass.
That's a frustrating little play from Sabri Bedzedi. I don't want to be... he is clearly the more experienced player than I have ever been. But he had a chance there to collect a charge, and he was electing for a little bit, trying to get that steal, playing a little bit antsy. I think if he'd just settled himself and taken that charge, he actually could have got the turnover.
That man Bedzedi cuts baseline, gets a pass from Brown and makes the layup. Cut the deficit back, just four. But straight away the Wheel Eagles into transition. Sam White makes the pass from Latham and converts. Push the margin out to 6. Just past the midway point, first quarter. Round 5 of the National Wheelchair Basketball League, brought to you by Bright Sky Australia. Bedzedi drives baseline, his shot's long. Fuentes pushing frantically. Wheels around, likes to look at the bank shot, makes it. One-man transition there from Fuentes.
I really like this style from the Wheel Eagles, playing a lot more fluid, and knowing that what really kind of hurt them in the previous game was a little bit of that transition. They didn't have too much pace that they could beat the Healers with, and I think they've come out firing this time.
Backs off from Tyndall. Fuentes again, tumbles out of his chair, but manages to get the pass away to Tarleton and has Message, a little bit of a mismatch. thinks better of it. Back to Fuentes. Tries to use the Latham screen, gets around. Bezzetti comes back. Back to Latham. Snaps it back behind his head, then back to Fuentes. Banks shot is short. Brown the rebound. Nice baseline. Right so far, Brown. That one's off. Latham the rebound. It's looking long instantly. Nothing available. Dribbles up, kicks ahead. Carlton makes it. I think head coach Brad Ness has seen enough. The Red Dust Healers, he's called timeout. First to blink here. It's the Wheel Eagles, courtesy of some fantastic transition, leading by 10.
Yeah, and as you say, Jalen Brown just being a little bit quiet on the offensive end for a player that had 30 points in the previous game to go 7 minutes so far without collecting a score is a pretty difficult thing to reconcile. I think the Manly Wheel Eagles are doing so well to really push that pace, not letting the Healers get into set defense. They've rarely had a set defense, and that's when they've been strongest. The Healers is when they can actually get comfortable with where they're at. I think the Manly Wheel Eagles are utilizing their pace so much better than what we saw in the previous game last night, and that's clearly something that they've discussed. They've looked back at the gameplay and noticed that that's really where they were losing their points.
Yeah, just the 2 field goal attempts thus far without success for Jalen Brown. A little over, or just about 7 minutes into the contest. That wouldn't have been on too many people's bingo cards that Jalen Brown would be stuck on 0. It's always a fascinating challenge for the teams playing 3 games over a weekend about what adjustments are made from game to game. We saw in terms of technical fouls last night, but certainly a number of players were feeling aggrieved about decisions or non-decisions, and it certainly didn't help both teams at various stages.
Yeah, and I think we saw that a bit. I think that's what kind of didn't quite work out for the Manly Wheel Eagles. I think at key moments they got a little bit distracted by the referee calls, or the calls that they wanted to happen and didn't happen. The Red Dust Healers, credit to Brad Ness, their coach, really did well to say, just pull it back in. We're not going to talk back to the referees. We're not doing any of that, and keep calm. And I think that's what pushed them forward in the end.
Latham gets inside, can't make it go. Offensive rebound. Putback's good. Brown steaming down the court. Wheel Eagles back in coverage defensively. Snaps a pass inside. Bezzetti turns in one motion. Has to be the quickest player in the league to pursue his own shot. Sometimes it almost seems like he's moving to rebound offensively before he's released the shot.
I think that's honestly, I think that's actually true. I think sometimes he puts up a shot knowing that it's not going to be the shot that he wants, but that he'll be able to get into a better position while every other player is looking up, looking at whether the shot's going. He knows that it's not going, but he can get the rebound. It's something that you see a couple players do. Tom O'Neill Thorne being one of them. One of the keys that we focus on for newer players is look at the way that he puts a shot up and his head is immediately down driving for that rebound. And Sabri Bezzetti is one of those players. He does not give up until the ball is in the hoop.
Latham misses again. Does have 10 points, but able to make that one go. Well, Brown finds his range with the mid-range 2. Latham draws a little bit of contact from Brown in the backcourt. Of course, the two players know each other inside out, both being members of the roller squad who recently made a trip to Toronto for the Toronto Invitational as a prelude to September's World Championships in Ottawa, Canada. And both undoubtedly be involved. Carlton's off with his shot. Brown rolling ahead, just seeing what the defence is going to allow him. Launches a shot on the move, goes glass. You see in that shot just how effortless he makes some of the skill elements look. Turnover, ball back to Brown. He snaps a pass. Bezzetti draws some contact, makes the layup. The game's turned on its head just in the last 20 seconds.
And I think that's credit to Jaylen Brown finally kind of finding his range, coming alive. He's very much not necessarily a confidence shooter, but the way that he plays when he's shooting well just completely changes. He gets that drive, even that steal that he just got is really a credit to. Once he comes alive, he really comes alive, and they've needed it. The Red Dust Healers have really needed that to kick in.
Bezzetti makes the three-point play. The margin was 3 1/4. Manly seemingly dominated. They've turned it over again. Long pass picked up by Bezzetti. Chance for the Red Dust Healers to run this right down. Jaylen Brown has a look at the clock and realises he can do that. Crowd helping with the countdown, but they've turned it over. Latham looks long. It's turned over again. Bezzetti looking to pick off those passes. Goes for the spectacular half-court skyhook. It's off. And we've got 0.3 of a second, which is really going to be pretty much academic for Manly. The officials just checking with the bench that the 0.3 is accurate. Quite often seems like an anticlimax when you get these timing adjustments at the end of quarters. They've decided there's 1.2 seconds. For Manly to try and manufacture a miracle. They're not going to worry about it. The ball's passed in and they hang on, but quarter time. It's the Manly Wheel Eagles holding a narrow 3-point advantage, 16-13 over the Red Dust Healers, and we'll be back to Narrandjeri Stadium in just a moment.
I'm Georgia, and welcome to William Buck, a firm that is reimagining the way advisors work. Come with me and take a peek behind closed doors. Exceptional advice comes from passionate people who feel empowered to shape outcomes. Our teams include audit and assurance, business advisory, corporate finance, restructuring and insolvency, superannuation, tax, and wealth advisory. These teams work together to create a tangible impact for our clients.
Welcome back to Narrandjeri Stadium in Melbourne's northern suburbs for the second quarter of what is probably to be expected. It was exactly as advertised, a seesawing encounter in the Manly Wheel Eagles racing out to an 8-point lead before being reeled back in late by the Red Dust Healers. They lead by 3. As things are underway, Manly with the ball in the white uniforms. Tarleton with the ball for them. Latham pulls the ball back behind his head as he likes to do. Launches that shot. It's off.
I've never noticed the way that Sabri Bezzetti defends the shot. Potentially, he was expecting that it's a little out of Bill Latham's range. It was actually a defense with a single finger trying to block the shot. Essentially, that's almost a distraction technique, not a technical foul distraction. But it just looks so odd with that single pointer finger. trying to tap away at the ball.
I'm sure there's some sort of psychological technique, as you say there, Campbell, in the single finger point. You see a couple of players out of their chairs in the back court. Officials are going to call a halt. Referee McIntyre there. Sam White and Campbell message. Campbell gets the hand from Sabri Bedzetti to get up. Coach Kun Janssens just querying official about something or other there. Generally a pretty calm character. Balls into Cooper Tarleton, drives middle. It's up on a wheel. He's going to continue, tries to find that range. Nothing doing for him thus far, just the 2 points this afternoon. Bedzetti tries baseline with the red dust. A bit of a miscommunication there, throws a pass which sails out of bounds. And here's the ball. Fuentes, their version of the Roadrunner, spins around, gets to the middle, peels it back, so quick to snap that release off. It's off, Crooks the rebound for Jalen Brown. Makes a casual dribble, gets to the middle, pops a pass inside. Bedzetti with the left hand, offensive rebound, no surprise there. Makes the put back.
That's exactly what we were talking about with Sabri Bedzetti. He refuses to let that ball go. I don't think I've seen too many times where he's taken a shot and hasn't got his own rebound if it happens to miss. There's very few times where he won't put the ball away.
Stroke of luck there for the Wheel Eagles. They're in trouble with a potential backcourt violation. 8 seconds. Fuentes through a long pass, which went astray, but there was some contact by the officials. Ball will stay with Manly after that foul. Fuentes, left alone, looks at three, can't get it to go. Still labouring from the three-point line, as we saw in last night's first encounter. Jalen Brown drives baseline. Fuentes comes to cut him off. Skips a pass to Bedzetti. Head fake, drives baseline, skips it back to Brown. Brown's good.
It's been a difficult game so far for the Manly Wheel Eagles, just in terms of the ways that they're getting towards the basket. I think Fuentes and Cooper Tarleton are both just struggling a little bit on that offensive end. Bill Latham, credit to himself, has 10 points to his name already. I think the Manly Wheel Eagles really need to find a way forward that isn't through him because of the amount of pressure that he's now getting under the basket.
Saw an example of that pressure there. Bill Latham made a layup, but it was waved away, a 3-second violation. Things not moving as smoothly for Manly as they were at the start of the first quarter. Now Brown drives middle, rolls the ball around. It is from right to left and goes off the glass. It's almost a physics-defying shot in some regard. It seems to make it look easy. And they get the ball into the front court. Fuentes snaps a pass inside Tarleton. Can't get that to go. The story of his afternoon thus far. Here's the big difference. The third scorer last night with 21 points. Just the 2 so far today. Bedzetti flips a no-look pass inside. Fantastic stuff. Tyndall with the catch and finish. This time it's Manly and Coach Kun Janssens who wants to have a chat about things. He calls a timeout. All the Red Dust Healers since about the 6-minute mark of the first quarter, and they lead by 5.
Yeah, the Red Dust Healers just looking strong in times, and the Manly Wheel Eagles not quite able to find their way forward as much as they would necessarily hope. I think the Red Dust Healers might look at a couple of rotations just to kind of get some change of pace through. I think it was credit to Oscar Magera. He took over the game last night when Sabri Bedzetti was fouled out. And I think he might be worth putting in just to change up a little bit, and his presence inside the paint. He doesn't have as much of that speed and agility that we see from Sabri Bedzetti and Jalen Brown, to be fair, as well. but he just represents a little bit of that simple strength inside the paint that someone like Bill Latham does on the opposite side of for the Manly Wheel Eagles.
Got a close-up look at head coach Brad Ness's time out there for the Red Dust Healers. He's got rid of the beanie he was wearing. It's pretty cold last night.
We should also should recognise that Taysha Evans, she hasn't come on yet, but she is suited up, and she's come straight off the Commonwealth Games as well. And she didn't play last night, but I saw that she was on the list, so potentially she'll suit up straight out of the Commonwealth Games where the girls collected the bronze. But she's absolutely incredible and really valuable for the Red Dust Healers as well. She's one of their 3-point shooter threats as well, funnily enough.
Yeah, of course, women can and do play in the men's league. They have their own league, but many of the elite players able to double up as Latham finds his way inside. Yeah, Taysha Evans. Now, we've seen nearly all the Wombats, the men's and women's team, of course, the men winning gold, the women taking the bronze medal, have all taken this weekend off, apart from potentially two of the women, Hannah Dodd, who has played some minutes today for the Wollongong Rollerhawks. And then there's the Evans later on as Mitchell Bond. Two scoring underway for the Healers, and plenty of backcourt pressure now. We didn't see a lot of this last night. Latham has the ball poked away. It seemed to be a viable tactic with Tom O'Neill-Thorne not there. One less primary ball handler. Fuentes drives to the elbow. Picked up by Bedzetti, so wheels away. Skips a pass across to Latham. Didn't have enough elevation on it. Touch from one of the Red Dust Healers. But in the meantime, the shot clock's expired. Another turnover for the Wheel Eagles. Didn't have a turnover at quarter time. They've got 5 thus far in just about 5 minutes of the second quarter. Tyndall to Bond. Floats a pass inside and screen and roll. Bedzetti catches and finishes. It's a little off balance, Bedzetti, but it's a controlled off balance. That makes sense.
That's one of those plays that we talk about with newer players. When you get a pick and roll like that, you're just waiting for the space to open up in front of you. And Sabri Bedzetti was sitting there for a solid couple of seconds, just waiting to see the gap open up, and just takes the space so easily without forcing anything.
He's the youngest player on the court, Evander Conroy, just 15. Couldn't get that layup to go. Was in all the right positions. Heels are off, and it's Fuentes in transition. Makes the layup. Relieving score for the Wheel Eagles. Tyndall with the ball for the Red Dust Healers. Conroy comes to pick him up. Across to Bond. That's about a shot. He's back to Tyndall. He gets the friendly roll. Backcourt pressure persists. Fuentes navigates his way around. Latham's held up. Pass gets ahead. Sammy White can't get the layup to go. Just moving a little too quickly. Fuentes the offensive rebound. Putback. Can't get the putback to go. Latham dives in there. He can.
This is a fascinating difference to the game that we had last night. Both teams heading towards the half with 4 fouls on the side of the Red Dust Healers and only 1 for the Manly Wheel Eagles. Where in last night's game we had a couple players that were thinking about fouling out, and Sabri Bedzetti actually fouling out towards the end. This is a much cleaner game, and I think both teams have clearly talked to each other about just being a little bit calmer with the ball.
Fuentes kicks ahead to Gray. Finds Latham. Gray, another of the Manly youngsters. Latham's held up. With Bond, shot clock becoming an issue. Latham realises that, flips it back. Fuentes rolls into a 3. Can't get it to go. Just really still struggling from the three-point line. Just the 5 collective attempts this afternoon, but no success. Jalen Brown tries to change that with his own look at 3. That's off. Gray unable to corral the rebound. Here we go back to the Healers. Just about 3 minutes remaining, second quarter, round 5 action. Second of 3 games between these two teams with title aspirations. The Illegals sitting in second, the Red Dust Healers sitting in third as Brown drives baseline. Manufactures a 2. Fuentes kicks ahead. Tarleton back to Fuentes. Looks for a driving lane, none available. Pass inside. Latham is triple teamed. Pushes a shot out underneath. The Red Dust Healers have done a great job on Latham since that first 4 or 5 minutes. Multiple defenders every time he touched the ball. Kendall for the Healers, snaps it past inside, got a little too much heat on it for Bezzetti.
Yeah, I think the Red Dust Healers are finally clicking to the fact that at least in this game, Bill Latham is absolutely the threat for the Manly Wheel Eagles. He's sitting at 14 points. The next highest scorer for the Manly Wheel Eagles is Fuentes with 4 points. He's absolutely being the controller for the team, and I think that's how they've slowed down so hard. Is the Healers have just put so much pressure on him, double team, triple team if they have to, just to respond to his threat.
Foul on the Red Dust Healers there. Mitchell Bond, just his first. Tarleton draws some more contact. Sabri Bezzetti is not convinced that was a foul. A couple of engaging hand gestures there, but all in good spirits. Balls back in for Manly. Fuentes weaving as he does in the chair. Tarleton. Again about it would have been an extremely tough shot rolling backwards. The ball's poked away. The Roadrunner gets after it but can't reel it in. And meanwhile, the shot clock violation. Another one for Manly.
I think it's a funny thing seeing Sabri Bezzetti getting a little bit annoyed by that foul, and potentially he's well within his rights to be annoyed by the foul. But just considering that's only his first foul in the second game. Where in the first he had already collected a couple by this point. I think he'd have to be pretty happy with the way that he's playing and the defensive control that he has. The way that he plays, he really looks for steals. He looks to slap the ball constantly as much as he can. He does well to really control those fouls, and he's done extremely well today.
Jalen Brown misses the 3. Bill Latham the rebound, and Fuentes just took off straight away. Makes the layup, tumbles out of his chair. Pops straight back up. Jalen Brown has a look around, realises they're one defender short, Manly. Gets it to Bezzetti, drives baseline, draws some contact. That'll be before any shooting motion. Just a little under a minute and a half remaining. Second quarter. Dust Hill is threatening to take things away in the second quarter. Just been reeled back in. Bezzetti goes glass, can't get it to go. Latham another rebound. The 6th to go with 14 points. 4 assists. Ball pokes inside, no look pass. Fantastic stuff from Latham. And another exchange of passing back to Tarleton. We're going to wipe that one away, a 3-second violation. That really is almost mean-spirited, Campbell. Such a fantastic exchange of passing.
Yeah, it was a fantastic play. I think it was only because I think one of the Manly Wheel Eagles players on the closer side to us might have just been slightly in the paint, potentially even just a caster sitting in the paint, but that is considered being in the paint. And I think it's an unfortunate call to get, but it is a fair enough call. It's a really smart play from Evander Conroy, that kind of fake shot that he really is unlikely to take that shot under the basket, but faking that so that he could make that underneath pass.
Pick up his second personal foul there as another three-point attempt. Sails harmlessly wide. Fuentes gets through. Carlton, underhand, gets it to go. Did a really good job there. The defence was all over him when he caught that.
Yeah, we've wanted to see Cooper Tartan pick up a little bit in this game. He's played very well in the previous game, where he's sort of played pretty consistent minutes because they don't have someone like Tom O'Neill Thorne to kind of take over his spot, and he's really filled in there. And I think Cooper Tartan's doing well to settle into that role. He doesn't quite have as much high-level experience and certainly the international experience compared to some of the players on the court. I think he's just finding his line now.
Carlton miss. He really had to take that one. The quarter buzzer was about to go for the end of the quarter. In fact, the end of the half, and it does go. So it's the Red Dust Healers who've righted their ship. They lead, and now the win lead is 33-26. We'll take a break for halftime and be back shortly.
G'day everyone, I'm Clarence McCarthy-Grogan. I play for the Southern District Spartans and we're here at Narrandjeri Stadium for Kevin Coombs' Indigenous Round. The Indigenous Round is so important because it shows the sport of wheelchair basketball that was led by Uncle Kevin Coombs, an Indigenous Paralympian and just an all-round great guy and a very inspirational leader for not just Indigenous wheelchair basketballers but people all around the country because of what he had to go through and trailblazed. It feels really cool to have all the teams here. It's almost like a bit of a finals sort of weekend if the vibe is like that. It's just great to have that social interaction with everybody because we don't actually get to see each other too often throughout the season. You know, just great to see everyone at one location for the first time. Having Indigenous Round to kick off NAIDOC Week is awesome. It's an awesome concept. We're down here in Melbourne. You know, it's pretty cold for me coming from Darwin, but look, it's a great concept because it showcases what wheelchair basketball is all about, inclusivity, and it's just great to showcase wheelchair basketball and the Indigenous athletes that do play wheelchair basketball at the highest level in the country.
I'm Nicholas Marachi. I'm a Senior Manager in the Tax Services team here at William Buck in Victoria. William Buck has a really good environment of innovating and really changing things up where we need to adapt. And as tax law changes, our way of administering it and our way of preparing advice also changes, and we're adapting to that. The firm has a really good culture of acknowledging good behaviours and good efforts and outstanding outcomes from staff members. The Victorian office offers an Excellence Award to an outstanding staff member. That was a really humbling experience for me. Usually I'm not short for words, but I was short for words at that point in time.
Wheelchair basketball emerged shortly after World War II after it was developed by injured servicemen. It became a foundation Paralympic sport at the 1960 Games and is now one of the world's most recognisable wheelchair sports. Athletes who play wheelchair basketball have a physical impairment. All players use a wheelchair to compete, although some don't use a wheelchair in everyday life. The court dimensions and basket height for wheelchair basketball are the same as the able-bodied version of the sport, as is the playing time and number of players on court. Wheelchair basketball classifications range between 1 and 4.5 points. Players with a classification of 1.0 have the highest level of impairment, while players in the 4.5 point class have the highest level of physical function to be eligible for the sport. The wheelchairs used during a game are specially designed to support players and help them move around the court. During a match, the classifications of the 5 players on the court are added together and must reach a total of no more than 14 points. The object of the game is to score the most points in the opposing team's basket. The team with the most points by the time the clock expires wins. Wheelchair basketball is a contact sport. The sport is so fast that it can be difficult for athletes to stop in time, meaning contact is inevitable and can result in some spectacular collisions. While contact is permitted and even encouraged, head-on collisions are strictly forbidden and can result in fouls or even ejection from the game. For more information on wheelchair basketball, visit paralympic.org.au.
Why Red Dust? I like here, and I like the team. I love Melbourne. Yeah. This season, I see all the players be better. Last season it seemed to be less. This season be better, maybe because make a great job in this year. I think I'm happy about this. Yeah, my style is more aggression, to put pressure on another player, don't give him to breathe, and now work. Yeah.
Sabri Bezzetti, guarda tutte le partite Wheelchair Basketball Australia.
Welcome back to Narrandjeri Stadium in Melbourne's northern suburbs. Some highlights of the first half of this amazing contest between the home Red Dust Healers and the Manly Wheel Eagles. The Red Dust Healers, as happened last night, Campbell, the second part of that quarter managed to get their noses in front and start to work home an advantage.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing that happened in that second quarter. The first quarter, the Red Dust Healers actually lost 13-16 in that quarter, but in that second quarter, the Red Dust Healers coming away 20-10 for the Manly Wheel Eagles. I think that's really a credit to the way that they responded to Bill Latham. Bill Latham's been the highest scorer for the Manly Wheel Eagles quite considerably throughout this entire game. they've really put pressure on him with double teams, almost triple teams at times, under the basket, really making sure that he can't get anything. And the outside shots from the Manly Wheel Eagles, when he tries to kick it back out, really haven't been there as much as they really need it to be.
Yeah, Manly with their 8 turnovers, they have 8 in the game so far. They had all 8 of those in the second quarter. Some backcourt pressure from the Red Dust Healers started to unravel their transition, and they very rarely got into any half-court offense. Interesting to see if head coach Kun Janssens is able to tweak some adjustments there to try and deal with that backcourt pressure and to keep things under control. From an individual scoring perspective, Jalen Brown with 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. For the Red Dust Healers, Sabri Bedzetti accumulating, as he always does, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. While Bill Latham leads the way for the Manly Wheel Eagles, 14 points, 7 rebounds and 4 assists. And Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes next to him on court with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, but they're yet to find that third scorer that Cooper Tarleton provided last night. He has just 4.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit less of an experienced player for the Manly Wheel Eagles. He's a fantastic player within his own right, but against players like Sabri Bedzetti, against Jalen Brown, just gets a little bit outclassed in those skills. I think he doesn't quite utilize his height quite as aggressively as he could. He's extremely tall when he wants to sit up and really take those rebounds and put the shots up. He really can threaten that, and I think he just doesn't quite have the confidence to do it.
Bedzetti straight into the action, offensive rebound to putback, and as you predicted, Tasha Ovens on the floor in 13 for the Red Dust in the dark uniforms. Fresh off her bronze medal performance. We just lost pictures there for a second, right at the start of this third quarter.
Especially for someone like Tasha Ovens, she plays so many minutes in the Women's League and throughout the Com Games as well. She absolutely puts in the work, puts so much time in, and is so effective in her role.
Right, I believe you've got pictures back again now. Really haven't missed anything. No further scoring. It's Bill Latham with a rebound for Manly. Puts it ahead to Fuentes. Drives, she's almost got a lane to the basket. Cut off by Jalen Brown. Flips it across the top. Tarleton retreats. Takes a couple of dribbles. Conroy sets a screen for him. Tarleton goes glass, can't get it to go. Brown, the rebound, controls it in one hand and instantaneously flips it ahead to Bedzetti. Latham. Bedzetti does a little dipsy doodle around him, gets a behind the back pass. Would have been a great finish required. Jalen Brown somehow gets it to go anyway. Offensive rebound and a putback.
I think that's one of those shots that only someone like Jalen Brown, or even learning from Sabri Bedzetti, we know the Italians like their stylish plays. But he opted for the harder shot to be the one that goes in.
Certainly the pass was a worthy nomination for the Magician Award. Sabri Bedzetti. We see another transition layup this time for the Red Dust. Jeremy Tyndall converting that. He's just threatening to get away from the Wheel Eagles here. But Fuentes shoots on the turn. Gets it to go, but that's not going to count, that basket. And not surprisingly, head coach Kun Janssens, he must be tearing his hair out a little bit there. This game is, in the space of the first 3 minutes of this third quarter, just gotten away from them.
Yeah, the Red Dust Healers. I think this is one of the things that teams really haven't picked up on as much as they need to against the Red Dust Healers. they come out firing in the second half. At the start of the second half, they often come out very aggressive, very powerful. And I think the Manly Wheel Eagles just fallen asleep a little bit towards the end of that second quarter, and obviously through the half, they've just started a little bit cold here. That's something that the Healers won't let go easily, and even something like the Jeremy Tyndall's easy kind of open layup that he got before is a little bit of a symptom of the Manly Wheel Eagles just not putting pressure where they need to, and paying attention to those fast breaks that the Healers really like.
The Healers break their huddle on the other side of the court. Coach Kunyans looks pretty composed. This team was unbeaten coming into this round 5. They sat on top of the standings at 11-0. We've already seen the Wollongong Roller Hawks take the first 2 games of their series against the Victoria Marbles. Move to an unbeaten 13-game record on top of the standings. And the Perth Wheelcats earlier today took the second of their 3 games to make it a pair against the Southern District Spartans to jump a game ahead of them in 4th place in the standings. Fuentes gets one to go. Brown comes down the other way, draws some contact. He will head to the free throw line.
And that'll be Cooper Tarleton's 3rd foul. This has been a much more difficult game for Cooper Tarleton than the game was last night. It was obviously a very difficult game for both teams, but I think Cooper Tarleton looked really nice in that game, and was filling into this role and kind of taking more of a leadership role quite well. And I think he's just struggling to find a little bit of his way forward in this game. And that's credit to the Red Dust Healers. I think they've responded really well to the threats that they noticed last night.
Yeah, it's quite the step up for Tarleton. He averaged a little over 5 points a game last season. Usually taking on a slightly bigger role this season. We saw that breakout game in the first game of the season against the Victoria Marbles. He had 21 and 21 last night. But as with most young players, got a travelling violation, I believe, Campbell there. Sabri Bedzetti's just querying.
I think that was Jeremy Tyndall rushing for that ball that was about to go out of bounds. Flicked it back in, but he went out of bounds and didn't come back in where he had left. So it's one of those violations that sometimes it doesn't mean too much. He wasn't necessarily in an advantageous position, but he did push just straight down the court and then come back in a meter or 2 down the court.
Okay, as we then saw an offensive foul on transition assessed on Manly, a moving screen. Coach Janssens is going to head to the bench. Cooper Tarleton will head to the bench with his accumulation of fouls. Adam Brown looking pretty relaxed. Gives the ball to Bedzetty. It's always hard to tell with Jalen Brown's body language if he weren't relaxed. He's a pretty cool customer. Long pass. Latham. Fuentes. Picked up by Oscar Magera. Picked up by Bedzetty, I beg your pardon. Ball inside. Magera with the rebound. Brown just cradling the ball in one hand. You see an offensive foul again on the other side of the court. The foul's coming thick and fast at the moment. And the bench has confirmed that was Cooper Tarleton's 4th foul, the offensive foul a couple of possessions ago before he substituted off. So continuing to contribute is going to become pretty difficult for him.
And that becomes a really difficult ask for Jackson Gray. He's one of the younger players for the Manly Wheel Eagles. He's quite strong in the under 23s, the Aussie under 23s squad, but he just doesn't quite have as much experience. And this is a little bit of trial by fire against players like Sabri Bedzetty and Jalen Brown, where now he's going to really have to put in a fair bit of time because if he's not the one that you're subbing in, then you're subbing in a low pointer and really not playing towards the amount of points that you can have on the court. And that's credit to the Manly Wheel Eagles not having Tom O'Neill-Thorne. Again, they don't have that extra rotation.
Oh, a nice moment there just a second ago was great. It's inside. Sabri Bedzetti helping his opponent, the youngster Evander Conroy, off the court. Had a bit of a chair problem. Ball back to Manly, and Red Dust have decided they're going to have a chat about things at the moment. Coach Brad Ness would arguably be pretty happy about the direction the game is heading in, as we're midway through the third quarter, and they've managed to stretch their lead out to 13.
Yeah, Brad Ness has to be pretty happy with how the game's going so far, but he's definitely one of those coaches that has pretty high standards for his players, and isn't going to let simple things go. That regardless of whether you're winning or losing, you want to win or lose the right way. And I think that foul under the basket, I think that will go on Oscar Magera as Jackson Gray was attempting to shoot. It's just a little bit of a careless foul, trying to defend from behind. I think the conversation will just be kind of keeping our basic skills in check, and playing the way that they know how to play, that the Healers are very comfortable with, and just finishing the game strong.
Right, both teams break from their respective huddles. Bit of a mountain to climb for the Wheel Eagles at the moment, with Carlton in foul trouble. Coach is looking pretty relaxed as the ball's about to be inbounded. Underway. Fuentes rolling backwards. Get that shot to control. He couldn't do so. Brown the rebound. See a bit of contact in the middle of the floor. Campbell Message just assisting his opponent to pop up there. Chris Baxter.
I think Sabri Bedzetti might have actually been appealing that contact was inconsequential, and was hoping for a bit of continuation there. I think he wasn't particularly arguing it, but just questioning why the play wasn't able to continue with the player down in the back court. So the way our game operates, if a player's down in the back court and they're not in the way of the play continues until they are in danger.
Yeah, I think they might have assessed a foul eventually. Nonetheless, play goes on. Kick ahead pass from Latham. Fuentes unable to get that layup to go. One hit make 9 times out of 10. Ball finds its way to Brown. Switches hands. Ball back to Message. He's thinking it's sort of a shot within his range, but he gets a pass inside to Brown, who finishes. Fuentes breaks the pressure. Ball ahead to White. Fuentes pops it inside. Latham puts himself right in the middle of the paint. A couple of fakes to shake the defenders, goes glass.
I don't know whether this is just normal composure, or whether it's knowing that Sabri Bedzetti fouled out in the last game. You can see he was behind Bill Latham in that position, and opted not to put a hand up, not to try and steal the ball from behind, and he was just kind of sitting there waiting. I think that was potentially just a little bit of self-control, which is not particularly a rare thing to see from Sabri Bedzetti, but you're usually seeing him play pretty aggressive. And I think it's a good thing to see, but it's a little bit concerning that I think he's just a little bit shaken by getting fouled out properly.
Jackson Gray rolls the lane, gets a beautiful pass from Latham. Open his scoring account.
His second for the game. Ball stays with Red Dust.
fact, it's going to tip the Wheel Eagles over the limit. And Jalen Brown will roll up to the free throw line.
If ever there was a player that you don't want to be sending to the free throw line, I think it's Jalen Brown, especially when the Wheel Eagles are in such a deficit that they could bring back. It's still within their range, but this is just not a position you want to put the Healers in.
Brown calmly hits them both. Backcourt pressure persists from the Healers. It's been a successful tactic for them since midway through the first quarter. Winters breaks that pressure. Latham, all the defenders disappear from around him. Long rebound comes back to him. Winters cuts middle. Latham finds him. Back to Latham. Little two-man game. Latham finishes.
Yeah, that was a funny little play from Sabri Benzetti. It didn't end up working with Bill Latham getting the secondary cut underneath the basket, but he fully pulled away from Bill Latham on that post-up shot and gave him pretty much a meter anywhere around him with no defense on him. And I think that's I think the Healers have gotten a little bit in the head of the Manly Wheel Eagles.
Campbell Message with the ball left wide open. Finds Bond. Bond wheels around. Picked up by Sam White. Ball back to Brown. Can't get a three to go. It's been a less than fruitful source for both teams tonight again. Zeddy back to Brown on the elbow. A hand right underneath him. Shot pops out. Sidney White exchanges a joke with Brown. The ball skates the other way. Winters with the layup. Message, the nominal point guard at the moment. Only happy to sag off him. Ball to Bond, his shot is short. Long rebound to Message, back to Brown. Drives, wheels around. Simple Message with the shots off. Fuentes gets the rebound on the move. Probing down the other way. Message tries to cut him off. Fuentes gets to the middle, a bit more raw chair speed. Flips it back across. Latham, couple of shot fakes, draws some contact, makes the two. Wheel Eagles showing signs of life here. Margin back under 10.
This is a bit of that speed and that strength inside the paint that they really needed to show. Manly Wheel Eagles, as I said, this isn't out of their range. This isn't too far gone for them, but they just can't let the Healers get ahead of them, get that kind of underneath their skin, get a little bit uncomfortable. We've seen that the Manly Wheel Eagles, once they start to turn over the ball a little bit, it really does get away from them. I think the Healers know how to kind of twist that knife and push it pretty aggressively once those cracks start to show.
Bounce off again, offensive rebounds poke back to him. Bond with the two. Very good shot for Latham. The three-point play took him up to 21 points to go with 14 rebounds, 7 assists. He has the ball at the moment. Sailing down again, flips it past to Fuentes. Picked up by Bezzetti. He wheels around. Tries to draw the switch, can't do so. Bezzetti gets over the top. Gets some help. Ball comes to the middle, nice exchange of passing back to Fuentes. The youngster Gray there. A nice touch pass.
That's what we've wanted to see the Wheel Eagles do. When they're playing well, they get those passes really consistently. They like to move the ball. They don't often succeed on an offense where they're playing kind of one-person offense. They really like to move the ball, and that's credit that they have several threats that are relatively tall, relatively strong inside the paint, and can be that threat so that the defense really has to work to cut those passing lanes.
Sabri Bezzetti draws some contact and a cut into the basket. With the Wheel Eagles over the limit, he will head to the free throw line for 2 attempts. Steady, catches the front part of the rim on the backboard, makes the second. Pass kicks ahead, Fuentes can't get hold of it. A bit of contact there. Jalen Brown shoving the defender away, but the initial foul was on Fuentes. Jalen Brown will roll 90 feet down the floor, 94 feet. Calmly makes the first. Always a difficult thing. You try to accelerate the pace to stage a comeback, but if you finish up fouling and you're in the bonus, provides an easy outlet, a scoring outlet for the other team.
Yeah, and I think this is where the Wheel Eagles really need to end this quarter well. They really need to just get potentially one score and just be comfortable with that and move into the last quarter comfortably and happily, rather than the way that they're playing at the moment, which is just so kind of scrappy and then not really down to those fundamental skills.
They certainly weren't listening to you, Campbell. Turned that over straight away, and Richard Bourne gets a pass from Jalen Brown and drives another two home. And just like that, the margin's back out to 13. Chance for the last shot of the quarter for the Wheel Eagles, but it's going to be a difficult assignment. Latham looking at the clock, back to Fuentes. I think it's about a three. Wheels around, tightly covered. He's going to have to launch a contested three on the buzzer. Does not go. The Red Dust Healers, they were challenged, but they're pushed back and they lead by 13, 54-41 as we head to the three-quarter time break. Moment.
From grassroots to the pros, I'd love to see that.
Where style meets performance, I'd love to see that.
Supporting champions and inspiring the next generation, I'd love to see that.
Welcome back to Narrandjeri Stadium. The fourth quarter about to get underway here between the home Red Dust Healers and the visiting Manly Wheel Eagles. Good foundations. The Wheel Eagles with the ball. Got a mountain to overcome, trailing by 13. Latham with the first possession. Gets back to Fuentes. He looks at a three. That's off. Neither team been able to come up with anything at all from the three-point line tonight. Jalen Brown with the ball for the Red Dust. Combined 0 of 14 from the three-point line, these two teams. We saw them go 2 of 18 last night. With the tough rims. Mitchell Bond gets the scoring underway for the Healers.
Yeah, this is a difficulty for the Manly Wheel Eagles. They've been looking for that third person to kind of be a scorer between Bill Latham and Emmanuel Fuentes Cervantes. They've both really struggled to find another way to get to the basket when they've both been really heavily covered. And in this second half, the Healers Mitch Bond has really come alive and found his outside shooting range that's putting such difficulty on the Manly Wheel Eagles defense that they're having to jump him and not able to leave him open on that outside shot, leaving that paint open wide for anyone else to get inside.
Latham, Fuentes, back to Latham, still with transition. Latham gets it to go. Latham up to 23, go with 14 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Mary Tyndall with the ball at the top for the Red Dust. Mitchell Bond thinks about a shot back to Tyndall. That's a spot he likes on the floor. Ball rolls in and out. Latham the rebound, flips it to Fuentes. He's probing. Bezzetti giving instructions defensively, but ball to no avail. Fuentes makes a running two-pointer off the glass. Brown drives middle, pops the pass down to the rolling Bezzetti, back to Brown, free throw line. Lines it up, gets it to go.
That's a really lucky play for the Red Dust Healers. I think that pass to Sabri Bezzetti, I think he wasn't expecting it, and potentially that communication came in just in time for him to be able to collect that pass. But the Healers just being so comfortable with each other and having played with each other for so long now, they're just so comfortable with those awkward passes and those little mistakes that the Manly Wheel Eagles can't even capitalize on.
Fuentes throws his 10th assist of the afternoon's game to Latham, converts again. Latham up to 25. Bond looks at a 2, sits tantalisingly on the rim, won't go. Latham another rebound. Fuentes kicks ahead. See Sammy White, who does a great job rolling around in his chair. Back to Gray. Gray got a little off balance, put himself under the rim, couldn't convert. Brown rolls middle, just too much space for somebody of his quality. A little bit of contact in the backcourt. Tasha Ovens with the foul this time. Some sparing minutes for Tasha, a little over 7 minutes played. Hasn't got a shot attempt yet.
I think for someone that works so much, and obviously she's come straight off the Commonwealth Games. Tasha Ovens not having taken a shot is credit to the fact that she must be tired by this point. And, putting so much work in. She is a really consistent shooter for how low of a point class she is, and for really her size on court, she is quite a valuable shooter for the Healers usually. So it's a rare thing for her not to have taken a shot by now.
Reese Baxter with the foul there for Manly. Just his second. Brown gets it in. Bond wide open. But he spots Bezzetti even more wide open under the basket. Latham throws a clothesline. Hook past three-quarter court. Gets to Fuentes. White out of his chair for a minute. He pops back in. Fuentes keeps playing. Looks at a 3. Really tough shot. Trying to evade defenders coming back right and left, wheeling around and launching on the move.
I think the Manly Wheel Eagles will be pretty upset with the way that offensive set played out. I think Jalen Brown was pretty lucky there not to collect a foul with that contact on Sammy White. It was pretty solid contact and a little bit of a hip movement towards him as he made that contact. I think that will be potentially the nail in the coffin for the Wheel Eagles. That might just upset them enough that they stop kind of playing the consistency that they need to.
Jalen Brown, Brown gets it back, looks at Bezzetti posting up inside. Gray can't do much about that. Bezzetti ball way up over his head. There's another 2. 15 now, halfway through this last quarter. Fuentes tries to drive baseline, but Zeddy cuts him off. Latham with a forest of defenders around him inside. Ball finds its way back to Fuentes. He's looking. Back to Latham at the free throw line. Can't get that to go. Jalen Brown, the long arm. Reels in the rebound. Rolls the other way. Flips a pass inside. Zeddy can't get that to go. Offensive rebound, of course. And put back.
Again, it's that rebound that, again, I think he knew he wasn't quite on balance there and just wanted to collect that rebound for a quick second to get himself set back up. So it's a difficult thing. You've almost got to expect that he'll kind of throw away that first shot and dive for the rebound for the second.
Bill Latham measures another free throw line extended shot. Jalen Brown coming the other way, weaves in the traffic, draws 3 defenders. Back to Jeremy Tyndall, rolls to an open spot and makes the 2. Fuentes looking to push, as the Wheel Eagles have to do now. Time and scoreboard pressure paramount. Latham on the elbow. Fuentes, who found some space on the weak side, he makes the 2. Margin still at 13.
That's a shot we haven't seen too much from the Manly Wheel Eagles. That outside shot, they've really been looking for Bill Latham inside the paint. I think that's potentially a little too little too late by now for the Manly Wheel Eagles to feel comfortable enough taking outside shots.
They just can't find a way to stop the Red Dust Hill of scoring. Ed said he adds another 2. Latham, it's about a 3 this time, rolls into it. He can't get it to go. Something about this venue. We're looking at a combined 2 of almost 35 attempts over the first 2 games. He puts his hand in the air to signify that he has fouled.
I think we'd have to call it down that end. The sunset coming in through those through the big windows at the end potentially just makes that shot a little bit harder, or at least that's the excuse I'm going to give the players, is that it's hard to shoot with that glare.
Yeah, it's certainly a beautiful place to play, but the lighting conditions down one end can be problematic for some lines of sight for shooting. Red Dust persisting with the backcourt pressure. Wheel Eagles force it ahead. Cooper Tarleton has sat for a long time with those 4 fouls, back on the floor now. Flips it ahead to Fuentes. He looks for Latham down inside. He switches hands to his left hand. Makes another 2.
That's a really beautiful pass. That's such a hard pass. And even credit to Bill Latham to be able to drag that back in. But to get that pass through defenders on both ends of the pass, the sender and the receiver, that's a really fantastic little play for the Wheel Eagles. That's the skill that they have. That's the skill that they've been lacking a little bit in this game and haven't quite been able to fine tune the way that they play. That's what they can do, and they should be able to convert on those passes.
We've seen a technical foul down the other end of the floor on Manly. Tasha Ovens steps up to, or rolls up to the free throw line. Can't get it to go. A little bit of pressure on Tasha there. Hasn't taken a shot in the game, and the Red Dust designating her as the technical free throw shooter. Manly has retreated defensively. Only by 17, just a little under 3 minutes to go. It's probably a situation too difficult. Manly and head coach Quinn Jansen, touch pass inside. Tarleton behind the back. Bit of magic there. Shame that Fuentes couldn't finish that. Some flashes from Cooper Tarleton. The sort of player he might become in the National League. I know he's an integral part of the Manly organisation. He designed their uniforms. Another skill that he possesses. Fuentes is good with both free throw attempts. The margin sitting at 15 with just a little over 2 minutes remaining. It's looks like the Red Dust Healers will make this 2 on the bounce. Noguera inside, can't get it to go. Fuentes, another rebound. Carlton inside to Latham. He's just surprised whenever he misses a bank shot. He's played the entire game tonight, Bill Latham. As has Jalen Brown. Brown exchanges passes. Tyndall. Ball across to Bond. That's another 2 to go. 16 for the game for Mitchell Bond. It's been a crucial third scoring element.
Ball stays with Red Dust. We are just under 90 seconds to go in the game. Just under 90 seconds.
Coach of Manly, Kun Janssens, looking picture of calmness. I think he's accepted his fate as the ball's into Tasha Ovens. It's a 3 that she can make. Just can't get it to go. Certainly online. Fuentes gets to the middle, pops it past to Latham. A really combination. He draws some contact before the shot. He will get 2 free throw attempts. Official determining that was in the shooting motion. So hypothetical for you here, Campbell. With a loss tonight, the Wheel Eagles will fall to 11-2. I say fall. They're still sitting in second spot in the standings. The Red Dust Healers will take their record to 8-5 with just 1 round remaining before the finals. Is there any way the Red Dust Healers can get themselves up into the second spot in that double chance at the finals?
I think it's going to be a really difficult way for them to get forward, only because the next round is also the Manly Wheel Eagles taking on the Wollongong Roller Hawks, and those games could go almost just about any way. And I'm really expecting that not to be a 3-0 either way between those two teams. I think it'll be a really difficult matchup. The Red Dust Healers, if they play like they have today and last night, they really could come into the finals firing and could contest for that gold medal game. I think they'll struggle to get potentially into that second spot. I think that it just seems a little bit too difficult for them, considering the start of the season that they had without Jalen Brown.
Okay, while you were talking there, Campbell, something very spooky happened after missing 18 consecutive three-point attempts. Jeremy Tyndall calmly nailed one for the Red Dust Healers, and Bill Latham went down the other end and nailed one as well.
They've finally found their way forward in the threes. I think potentially Tasha Ovens showing them how it's done and showing them, I think, what might have been the closest three-pointer that we had before both were able to make one finally.
Got a couple of free throw attempts to finalise things here. Second one pops out. Offensive rebound. And the Healers can run this thing out. I think Jalen Brown will be too concerned about shooting. Flips it up to Tyndall. Bond. Crowd counts down the clock. The shot clock expires. And Manly will be able to inbound the ball, and that'll be all she wrote. The Red Dust Healers, great value, backcourt pressure. They were able to find a way to stop the Manly transition, which had dominated early in the game. Certainly, Bill Latham felt the full force of multiple defenders every time he looked to cut or position himself. Without a reliable third scorer, Manly were just found wanting. But they'll still sit in second position as Bill Latham dribbles it out. Lewis, the Red Dots here 77, the Manly Wheel Eagles 63.
Yeah, I think the Manly Wheel Eagles just weren't able to find that third shooter, that third scorer to be their way forward, knowing that the Red Dust Healers really covered Bill Latham, especially in that first half. He still came away with 34 points, 16 rebounds, 9 assists, sitting 1 assist off a triple-double, and the same for Manuel Fuentes Cervantes, sitting with 20 points, 9 rebounds, 13 assists, 1 rebound away from a triple-double. And then on the other side of the Red Dust Healers, Jalen Brown with what was, to be fair, somewhat of a quieter game than he had yesterday, but coming away with 26 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, finding the triple-double. I think the Red Dust Healers, what they do so well is that they find someone to be that extra scorer, and it's consistently a different person to what they have in the previous. In last night's game, Oscar Magera really kind of came alive, took over that role as Sabri Betzetti fouled out. But in today's game, Mitch Bond coming away with 16 points along with 5 assists. But I think those 16 points were really at crucial times that they needed someone else to be the scorer rather than their pressure inside the paint that the Manly Wheel Eagles were able to respond to at times.
Yeah, as we look at some of the raw numbers, not a whole lot between the two. The Red Dust Healers with 33 made 2-point attempts, just the one successful 3-point attempt for both teams. That was a war of attrition there, and they both came in the last minute of the game. Fouls pretty equal, rebounding. The Red Dust Healers did find a way to get their noses in front there by 9, and turnovers relatively equal, but it's going to be a constant challenge. We've moved towards the finals, that the teams know each other so well that the adjustment around how they defend the reliable or star players, the members of the roller squad, creates that situation where it's quite often the third or fourth scorer. And which of these teams, talking about Wollongong, Red Dust, Manly, and potentially Perth, can find a scorer from an unexpected position?
Yeah, and I think we've seen most teams be able to find that. And obviously for the Manly Wheel Eagles, we have to recognise that in these games they don't have Tom O'Neill-Thorne, and he would be the third scorer, really, or potentially be the second scorer and push someone else out into that third position. But it just lowers the rotations that they've been able to have against the Healers. And I think the Healers did so well to recognise when the Manly Wheel Eagles couldn't find that third shooter, picked off with those steals, picked off those passes that were going to players that weren't quite as experienced, and really kind of making value out of the turnovers that they got, where the Manly Wheel Eagles, I think they didn't quite convert as aggressively on the mistakes that the Healers made, because they credit to the Manly Wheel Eagles, they did force a few mistakes from the Healers, but they just didn't quite have as many layups that worked for them, and those transitions didn't work as comfortably as they did for the Healers.
Yeah, mentioning Tom O'Neill-Thorne, shout out to him. We hope that he's relaxing at home with his gold medal around his neck and taking advantage of his first weekend off in quite a while. As we look at some of the highlights of the second half, highlights are plenty. That basket unfortunately was waved away, but Jalen Brown, so smooth. Almost looks like he's moving at a pace that would seem too slow for most elite players, but it's a measure of the way that he rolls. Sabri Betzetti, as a counterpoint, is just all energy and arguably the league's best offensive rebounder.
I think credit to Jalen Brown in that sense. One of the best skills that he's really fine-tuned and really showed itself this game is his ability to play slow, play comfortable, and then really accelerate when he needs to. And there were a couple of times when he was just holding the ball, pretending to go for a pass, pretending for an option, and then driving immediately and using that pace that he has.
Right, and that'll wrap us up here from Narrandjeri Stadium. Of course, you can watch any games. The 3 series still have a game to go tomorrow, and the Women's League will be back in action next week, along with the last round of the Men's League, leading towards the finals at the end of August. All those games available on the Wheelchair Basketball Australia YouTube channel. But as we leave the players to do their cool down, on behalf of my co-commentator Campbell Fraser, it's Brendan Parnell signing off from Narrabri Stadium. Until next time.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and welcome to William Buck, a firm that is reimagining the way advisors work. Come with me and take a peek behind closed doors. Exceptional advice comes from passionate people who feel empowered to shape outcomes. Our teams include audit and assurance, business advisory, corporate finance, restructuring and insolvency, superannuation, tax, and wealth advisory. These teams work together to create a tangible impact for our clients.